Righty ho, so we have another one for you, lovely lot. This was a game I had in Kremlin. Fairly good game. Oh, you can probably hear my PC spooling up in the background here. It's being rather loud. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but it's loud. I can hear it. Wish I couldn't hear it, but I can hear it. So yeah, with that said, good game, Kremlin, and this one goes from a very little to very much in quite a short period of time. Ultimately, of course, you're seeing this, so we do well. Unfortunately, we do die at some point, but when you see what happens, you'll be surprised it didn't happen sooner. But yeah, so while this is kind of getting started up, just something to put on the back of the previous channel update thing. Turns out homies have managed to in fact lose my charger cable things, so that's not ideal. So I now have to find more, which is a pain in the ass because it's a really oddball fucking like supply. So you know, it's just so that's not going to be very fun. Finding more of those. So yeah, that's it. It'll probably be another short while before I'm able to get back to streaming, unfortunately. But as soon as we are able to, we will be straight back to it. For those of you that do watch as well, these videos, I might be toying with an idea of something moving forwards. I'll have to get some more storage to do this, but I'd like to also see what you guys think before I go and do anything. So I'm looking at possibly like just recording everything that I do when I play, and then just like editing down like the good bits or the bits that I found fun, or like, you know, this and that. Either way, you know, we'll see how we get on, but like if that's something that you guys would like the sound of, then I'm more than happy to do that. So you know, just let me know. If it's something that you'd like the sounds of, then I'll be looking towards that anyways, because I mean, I'm looking at upgrading storage as is, so you know, it just means adding an extra drive or two in, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. With that said though, we did a pretty nice bit of chunk damage against that Donskoy, and now we're going to plan on doing the same against the Bismarck. So with that said, shells are out. Bad long-range dispersion, they say. 12k at max range on a Bismarck. I mean, I guess that Bismarcks do have a nasty habit of eating large pen damage as opposed to Citadel damage, but like, yeah. So this Hindenburg pops up. So we take a pot shot at him, and he speeds up, so we don't get too much. We get an overpen. I'm not really sure what happened with those shells, but we at least hit him. You know, we'll take it. You take whatever you can get, and all that jazz. He sets us on fire. Of course he does. And the Bismarck gets spotted again, so we take some pot shots at him. Unfortunately, we do lose... Excuse me. We do lose a few shells to the... what's it called? Island. Yep, there we go. We got there eventually. So at this point, there's not really a great deal we can do other than push round the island a bit. We've got HE slinging Musashi. That's That's no good. So we take a pot shot at him. Oh, and with the added benefit of survivability expert, no less. Because, you know... What is it that the Musashi gets? It's like 90-something, I think. You know, it's clearly not enough either way, whichever way you swing it, so... Yeah. With that said though, I'm sure you guys can probably see what's about to happen here. And, yeah. Things are gonna go... fun. And very quickly at that. If you'll notice that the timer is like 1520, and we're at 53,000 damage, just watch how long it's going to take us to, you know, get a fair ways up from there. So we don't do very well against this Bismarck in our opening shot, only 5k, and he chunks us for about the same. Not ideal. The Hindenburg, however, is giving us some really nice side, so we decide to exploit this. So we have our shells out, and we put our rear gun into it, and we get a citadel. Unfortunately, the back gun doesn't do the same, but we get a citadel, which is good, and that puts us up to 80k damage in, you know, not that much time. Next up is the Bismarck, who's on like 20-ish k. Well, that's not going to last very long. So we get a nice big chunk on him. We do damage con the fires here. And in hindsight, with a HE spamming Musashi, that's not really ideal. Surprisingly, it takes us like a surprising amount of time to get set on fire again. So we take another pot shot at the Hindenburg. Not anything startling. Like, it's damage, I'll take it, but you know, it would have been nice if we could have done a bit better than that, though, mind you. So the carrier decides to strike us. I don't believe we eat any of these, but we might do. But we'll see. No, it looks like we are able to in fact dodge. Oh, no. We're gonna eat one. We ate one. Didn't cause a flooding, but we're kind of low anyways, and we've got the kind of the dam cons to be able to do this, so we repair. And this Donskoy is showing an awful lot of side. Now, you don't do that in Donskoy. That's a bad idea. Unfortunately, no citadels, and we only do 5k damage like to begin with. So, you know, that's already not very good. Someone chunks him good and proper though. So we put some shells out. We only do 1400 damage because we hit one shell, and that was an overpen. And we put out another salvo, and you know, that chunks him down fairly well. And at this point we leave that to the rest of the team, and now this Conqueror is giving an awful lot of side. Conquerors shouldn't be giving side like this because they've had their citadel raised. And so as a result of that, we managed to chunk him down quite considerably, 30k damage. We are now up to 168,000 damage, and at this point, you know, we've died, but 168k is pretty good, I'd say. And all things considered, like, the rest of the game should be a fairly easy win. There's not that much work for the enemy team to do. I've stirred up enough kind of commotion here, I guess, to help on that front. There are some kind of questionable plays, but ultimately we are going to win this. I believe it's the shimmy and actually our Halland that make some of the questionable plays. Of course, the like track this shell or that shell or torpedo or whatever thing is bugged. So if you press Z or whatever keyboard you have it set for, it throws the camera off all the way over there in the replays. Doesn't do it in game, it just does it in the replay, which is odd. But you know, as long as it's... I mean, I have this nasty habit of doing that quite a lot, so yeah. Either way, Conqueror goes down. And at this point it's not looking great because we have an even number of caps now. We have the advantage on kills and we're ahead by a fair number of points. But if they can get, say, like another cap, if they can bring us down to 1, that kind of points lead ticks away pretty quickly. So, next up is this Amalfi. I'm not sure what I was doing with my camera here. There we go, we've woken up now. This Amalfi, I don't know what this guy was planning or what this guy was plotting, but Jesus Christ. And there's the bug thing with that again. So, there's this Alsace. And, you know, the Amalfi, he is opening up on this Alsace, and he's using the sap, which is very good against, you know, Alsace. The AP fire here doesn't do very much, but this Amalfi makes one very, very poor decision, and that is to stray within the secondary range of the Alsace. This is bad. He's on 2k health. He just repaired a fire, which is more than definitely going to be, you know, set again. And I see his thinking here. He's thinking, oh, you know, I can sit behind the island and, you know, this and that. It's like, but you can't. There's a Halland in B. It's like, that's not going to work for you. But, you know, he's diligent. He sits behind the island anyways. And, you know, he's going to die as a result. So, yeah, it's not ideal. Especially not when, you know, our points lead isn't by that much to begin with. Or at least at the time. Because we did manage to even, you know, we managed to trade back when the Alsace died. Of course, the camera bug. I don't know what's up with it, but they need to fix that. It was better when it was just chuggy, rather than, you know, just not in the right space at all. So, you know. This Alabama seems to roughly know what he's doing. He shouldn't be giving that much side to the Musashi, but the Musashi doesn't seem to be looking at him. So he should, in theory, be okay. He gets a decent hit on the Musashi. The Lexington gets spotted again. Alabama should really be looking over that way on the off chance that he's still going to be, you know, spotted. You shouldn't be, like, indecisive like this, because that's, you know, it's just wasting time at that point. His guns should have reloaded a fair while ago now. Let's see. Oh, it looks like he's missed the Musashi. You know, the Alabama hasn't really made any particular mistakes, other than wasting a bit of time with not knowing, like, really who to shoot at. But, you know, other than that, no real mistakes to speak of, you know. All in all, actually, my team played pretty well. Like, I'm surprised at, you know, how well they've done, especially since some of this was, you know, actual teamwork. In World of War, no, can't have that. Teamwork in WoWs. Who'da thunk it? This Halland is rushing down a Lexington by himself, which is a very brave thing for a Halland to do, given how little damage those torpedoes do. Of course, when you're hitting all of them, it's not quite as bad, so that he does finish off the Lexington. So that's nice. And all that's left at this point is, I believe, one Haaland, and, well, a Hindi, and of course the Musashi. This Hindenburg, I'm not sure what he was doing, to be honest. And I'm not sure why the Alabama rushed in like that. Realistically, this Hindenburg should be firing AP. Like, he wouldn't be getting any citadels, but he'd be getting, fairly chunky damage numbers out of it. He should genuinely have been firing AP here. Ultimately, it's not going to matter. Like, that Musashi is going to die anyways, regardless. But, like, if he'd have been firing AP rather than HE, he would have been dead a lot quicker. German HE, it's nothing startling. I mean, yeah, they get the quarter pen, which is good, but, it's a bit bad, to be honest. So, all that's left now is a Hindenburg and a Haaland. Now, I would have done the same as what the Haaland did here and dumped Torps into C, because realistically that's probably where the DD would have gone next. And of course we get sight of the Haaland, so we know exactly where he is, where he's going. So, that's good. I mean, in fairness, we have a fair points lead by now. We can get away with stuff, but, I mean, I don't know what this shimmy was doing. 3 sets of widespread torps. The whole kind of shtick with shimmy, with shimikaze, is being able to make that wall of skill without having to use, widespreads. I mean, any DD worth their salt is gonna be able to dodge widespreads without any issues whatsoever. So, this isn't really an issue of, like, really very much at all. But, like, the shimmy shouldn't have been using widespreads. In the end, it's probably fine. We're gonna win the game anyway. But, like, there were much better choices on that front. So, I don't know. So at this point, the Haaland opens up. Again, with the camera bug, I'm going to have to remember to stop actually using that. In the hopes, at least until the camera bug gets fixed, because that's really, really annoying. But, all things considered, we win in, a minute? Now, I understand why the Haaland isn't, like, taking the fight proper. He's pretty low, and I think at this point he was out of heals, so the odds aren't really stacked in his favour. So there's that. But, alas, we win the game. We did reasonably well, 168k damage, a kill, a lot of, XP and free XP, because I forgot to take my, camos and flags off for clan battles. So yeah, I mean, it's not so bad because we won, but that would have been a bit of a waste if we'd have lost that game. So there's that. So that's, a good thing we won, because that would have been a waste otherwise. Next up, we have the team score, and for once a game where I'm not actually, at the top. So 1815 base for us, 1980 for the Haaland. He did well. I did actually give him a +1 because, he's a good player. He should be getting that +1. But yeah, all things said, I'd say that was a pretty good game. So, as mentioned at the beginning, I'm plotting maybe doing a thing where I, record everything when I do play and then just edit things into, like, oh, this was fun kind of videos. Let me know if that's what you, if you'd like to see something like that, because I can do that. That shouldn't be a problem. Like, I'm already planning on buying, like, a fair few drives for, like, a nice big, RAID 5 array. And before anyone says anything, yes, I know RAID isn't a backup. All of my important stuff is already stored, off-site, so that's not going to be a problem. But, since I'm planning on buying a big RAID array anyways, like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 to 20, would it be? It's 3 by 8. It's like, well, 3 by 10 would be 30, so like that'd be 24-ish terabytes. Either that or 2 by 8, which would be 16-ish terabyte. Yeah. Anyways, details. I mean, there'd be 9 drives total, but it's -1 for redundancy with RAID 5. In any case, since I'm planning on something like that anyway, I'm possibly looking at starting to just like record everything when I do play and then just editing it down into like, oh, this was nice. Since I have the power to, PC-wise, I have the power to do that now with the 16 cores and all that. So if that's something you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments. Because if it is, it might take a few months, but that's something I could definitely look into once I've got my storage stuff sorted. But yeah, with that said though, if you would like to see more, okay, another thing to add on to that. If I do that, I will continue with this kind of voiceover, this was a good game, have this type things as well. So, those wouldn't go anywhere if I did do this, so don't think it'd be one or t'other. It'd be either, well, both, really. Either makes it sound like it would be one or the other, so let's forget that I said that, and we'll just run with the idea that, it'll be both. Like the voiceover ones like this more frequently, and then every now and again, like an edited one. With that said though, if that's something you would like to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll kind of bump it up the priority list. If not, I'll probably do it anyway, and we'll see how we get on. Next up, the usual shenanigans. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe. We've actually got an offer on that at the moment. If you are subscribed today, it doesn't cost a thing. And then, of course, if you like the video, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you didn't like it, tell me why. If it's something I can fix, it's something I will definitely look into. If you'd like to see, well, not now, but if you'd like to see more, like, of the general stuff as just, like, as it happens, rather than the, like, good games that I pick out, you can follow me on Twitch under the same name, but just be warned, that's not gonna have anything going on for a little while yet. That's gonna be, well, I've got to wait until I get power supplies for me monitors before I can do anything with that, because in my infinite wisdom I bought these 2 monitors for cheap, not realizing that they didn't just take kettle leads, which is what most monitors take, because most monitors have a power supply built into them and you just plug the kettle lead into the back of it. Well, this one doesn't do that. This one needs like, what, it's 12 volts at 3.3 amps, but it also has like a 5.5mm barrel connector. And finding that combination of 5.5mm barrel with 12 volts, 3.3 amps is difficult, apparently. So I'm not having much luck with finding replacements. But with that said, I will see you all again in the next one, which will be a bit later on, because I have another game for you. And going with the thing I've always said is that a good game doesn't necessarily mean a win. So keep your eyes open for that, and I will catch you all again in the next one. Do take care, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful, morning, evening, night, whatever it happens to be there. Make sure it's a good one. Don't do anything silly. We've been over this. We've talked about this. Don't do anything silly. And I'll catch you all again in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Ta-ra.